How did I go from laughing at my husband in public to holding legal papers in a bright lobby while strangers watched? Why did he look calm when I finally cried, like he had already finished the story without me? My name is Eustacia Rowe, but everyone called me Stacy because my real name sounded like a costume. I was 34, and I worked at a dental office. I did schedules, calls, billing, and small fires all day. I told myself I carried the whole place on my back. I also told myself I carried our home the same way. My husband, Nathaniel Rowe, was 36. He worked in municipal IT. He fixed problems that nobody saw unless something broke. He liked quiet. He liked plans. He liked asking how my day was, even when my day was just the same mess again. That year, I started to hate the sound of his care. It felt like a hand on my shoulder when I wanted open air. When he asked if I was okay, I heard a judge. When he asked when I would be home, I heard a guard. One night in our kitchen, the lights were too bright, the sink was full, and the counter had Maya's school papers. Maya was 9. She sat with a marker and made stars on a worksheet. She looked up and asked if we could do pancakes on Saturday. I said yes fast, like a good mother. Nate smiled at her and said we could do it early. His voice was soft, like a blanket. Then he looked at me and asked why I had been late again. He said he missed me at dinner. I said the office was short-staffed. I said patients did not care about my life. I said he should be proud I worked hard. He asked if my manager knew I stayed late every time. I said he was trying to make me look guilty. He told me he was not trying to fight. He said he only wanted the truth. I told him the truth was boring, and I was tired of being treated like a child. He asked what that meant. I said it meant I wanted space, and he never understood that. He offered to help with dishes. I said he always tried to fix things in the wrong way. He asked what the right way was. I said I did not know, and that was the problem. I watched his face change, just a little. He did not yell. He did not slam anything. He only nodded and rinsed a plate like it was a normal night. That calm made me angry. Calm meant I could not point at him and say he was the reason. If he acted big and loud, I could tell people he was toxic. But Nate stayed lawful, even in small things. He stayed careful. It felt like he was refusing to play the role I needed him to play. Later, when he went upstairs to help Maya brush her teeth, I stayed in the kitchen and opened my phone. I kept it low, like a secret. A message came in from Cole Ainsworth. Cole was 35. He was a sales rep who visited our office sometimes. He talked like every moment was a joke and a promise at the same time. His message said he was in town and asked if I was still alive. I stared at the words. My heart did that fast jump, like I was not a wife or a mother, but a girl with a new door in front of her. I told myself it was not cheating if nothing real happened. I told myself it was only talk. I told myself talk did not count. I told myself Nate pushed me to it by being so steady. I wrote back that I was busy. Then I added a smiley face. Then I deleted the smiley face. Then I put it back. I did not know what kind of person I wanted to look like, even to a phone. Nate came down and asked if I wanted tea. I said no. He asked if I wanted to watch a show. I said I was tired. He asked if something was wrong. I said he always made everything heavy. He said he was sorry if it felt heavy. That apology landed in me like a stone. I wanted him to stop being reasonable. I went to bed early, but I did not sleep. I listened to him move around in the hall. The floor creaked once. A drawer opened and closed. Nothing dramatic. Still, I felt watched. Not by his eyes, but by his quiet memory. The next morning, I drove to work with music loud. I told myself I was free in my own car. The dental office smelled like mint paste and coffee. Phones rang. A hygienist waved at me and asked if I could swap a patient. I said yes, because I always said yes to everyone except my husband. In the break room, Marina Holt was waiting. Marina was my best friend from college. She was the kind of woman who always knew which angle made her face look sharp. She asked why I looked tired. I said Nate kept me up with questions again. I said he acted like I was doing something wrong just for working. Marina said men like to control time. She said it was a power thing. She said I deserved fun after all I did. I nodded like that was wisdom. I did not tell her that Nate had only asked for dinner. I did not tell her he had washed dishes without a word. Those details did not help my story. Cole came into the office around noon with brochures and a grin. He asked if I had missed him. I said he was dramatic. He said he liked dramatic. He asked when I got off. I said it depended. He said he could wait. A patient walked by, so I shifted my body between Cole and the hallway. I told myself I was being professional. I also liked the secret shape of it. Cole asked if Nate ever took me out. I said Nate was not that kind of man. I said he worked and slept and acted like life was a checklist. Cole said I deserved someone who made my heart race. I laughed like it was silly, but it landed where it wanted to land. After he left, I stared at the office schedule. I saw my own name typed in neat blocks. I could not see where I lived in those blocks. I only saw time being taken from me. I told myself I had to take something back. That afternoon, Nate texted and asked if I could pick up Maya from after school. I said yes. Then I forgot on purpose for 10 minutes because I was angry he assumed I would do it. When I finally pulled up, Maya sat with her backpack tight to her chest. She did not cry. She only asked if I was okay. I said I was fine. I said traffic was bad. She said Dad was coming too. My stomach tightened. Nate arrived in the pickup line and nodded at me through the window. He did not scold me in front of people. He only asked later, in the car, if everything was safe. I said he was making a big deal out of nothing. He said Maya waited. I said Maya needed to learn patience. I heard myself and still kept going. I told myself it was better than admitting I had been careless. At home, Nate asked if we could talk after Maya went to bed. I said there was nothing to talk about. He said he felt distance. I said he imagined it. He asked if I still wanted to be married. I said he always asked dramatic questions. I said he should just be better and stop pushing me away. He went quiet again. He said, okay. He did not beg. He did not accuse me. He just picked up Maya's school papers and sorted them into a folder, like a person sorting pieces of a life. I watched him do it and felt a strange fear. People like Nate did not shout. They organized. They remembered. When I went upstairs, my phone buzzed in my hand and Cole's name flashed again. I looked at the hallway where Nate stood near Maya's room, and I typed back fast, like I was proving something to myself. I told Cole I could meet for one drink soon. I told myself it was harmless. I told myself I was still a good wife, because I had not crossed a real line yet. Then I turned the phone face down and walked into my bedroom like nothing had happened. By Thursday, I had decided I was not going to be the bad wife in anyone's story. If I was going to do what I wanted, then I needed a reason that sounded clean. I needed a villain. Nate was the easiest place to put it, because he was always there, and he never defended himself in a dramatic way. Marina messaged me during lunch and said we needed a rooftop night. She said I looked like I was shrinking at home. She said I needed to remember I was still a woman, not only a mother and a worker. I told her I was busy. Then I stared at Cole's last message, and I said yes. I told Nate I had a work thing. I said a team birthday came up and the office wanted to celebrate. He asked why it was at night. I said adults did adult things. He asked who was going. I said coworkers. He asked which ones. I said he was doing it again, like an interview. He said he was not trying to control me, and he only wanted to know where I would be. I said I would be at a rooftop bar downtown, and I would come home after one drink. He asked if I needed a ride. I said no. He asked if he could call later to check I got there safe. I said he could, but he should not make it weird. He said, okay. In my head, I turned that into him being clingy. I told myself a normal husband would not ask so many questions. I ignored the part where he asked with a calm voice, like he was asking about groceries. At the bar, the air smelled like perfume and cold metal. The city lights made everyone look more important. Marina was already there, holding her phone like it was a mirror. 2 of her friends came too, women who liked gossip more than coffee. They hugged me and asked if I was finally free for the night. I laughed and said yes. I said my husband acted like a manager sometimes. I said he tracked my time. I said he did not understand fun. I made it sound like he locked me in a room, even though he only asked for dinner. Marina asked if I still loved him. I said love was not the same as being happy. I said Nate wanted me to fit into his quiet box. I said I deserved color. I watched their faces react. That reaction felt like payment. Cole arrived a little later. He wore a jacket that looked too light for the wind. He came straight to me like he already knew where I belonged. He asked how I was, and I said I was tired of being the responsible one. He said I should stop being responsible for other people's feelings. I said that was easy for him to say. He asked if Nate was the jealous type. I said Nate acted calm, but it was all control. I said he tried to make me feel guilty for going out. Cole said that sounded stressful. He said a woman like me should not feel stressed at home. I should have heard the cheap part in that line. Instead, I heard comfort. I heard permission. We took pictures. In one, I stood alone near the glass railing. Cole was just out of frame. Marina said it looked strong. She said I looked like a woman who chose herself. I posted it with a caption about finally breathing. I told myself it was not aimed at Nate. I knew it was. My phone buzzed once, and I saw Nate's name. I let it ring. Then it buzzed again. Then a missed call appeared with no caller ID, right after his. I did not know what that meant, and I did not want to know. I put my phone face down and lifted my glass like that was a brave act. Marina's friends asked why I stayed with Nate if he was so hard. I said because I was loyal. I said because I cared about family. I said because I did not want Maya to have 2 homes. I said all the words that made me sound like the hero, even while I planned the opposite. Cole leaned in close and asked if I wanted to go somewhere quieter. I said no, not tonight. I said I had to go home. He asked if I was scared. I said I was not scared. I was smart. He said smart women made their own rules. I laughed and told him he talked like an ad. Still, when he touched my elbow, I felt warm. I told myself warmth was proof. Proof that Nate had failed. Proof that I had been starved. Proof that my choices were understandable. Around 10, Nate texted and asked if I was okay. I wrote back that everything was fine and I would be home soon. Then Marina said we should go to a second place. I hesitated just long enough to feel like I had morals. Then I said yes. I texted Nate again and said the group changed plans. I said I might be later. He replied and said okay, and asked me to message when I was on the way. That calm made me angry again. I wanted him to say no. I wanted him to sound cruel. I wanted a reason to hate him out loud. When the night ended, I walked outside with Marina. The wind slapped my face, and the city noise sounded like laughter that did not belong to me. I opened a rideshare app, and my battery flashed low. Cole asked if I needed help. I said no. I said I could handle my own life. Then I saw Nate's car near the curb. He had not stormed into the bar. He had not made a scene. He stood by the passenger side like a man waiting for a bus. Marina's eyes widened. She asked why he was there. I said he was being controlling, like always. I said he could not let me have one night. Nate asked, in a normal voice, if I was ready to go. I said yes, but I said it like I was doing him a favor. He asked if everyone got home safe. I said that was not his business. He said he only asked because it was late and the area was busy. I told him he was making me look small in front of my friends. Marina watched us like it was content. She held her phone low, and I knew she could record if she wanted. That thought made me act even more offended, because I wanted witnesses on my side. Nate asked if we could talk in the car. I said there was nothing to talk about. He asked why I did not answer his calls. I said the music was loud. He asked if I had been drinking. I said I had one drink, like I promised. That was not true, but it sounded neat. He did not accuse me of lying. He only nodded, opened the door for me, and waited until I got in. He said goodnight to Marina without sarcasm. That politeness annoyed me more than anger would have. In the car, he kept both hands on the wheel. He asked if Cole was there. I said Cole was a coworker contact and nothing more. He asked why Cole texted me at night sometimes. I said he was imagining things. I said he was paranoid. I said his job made him suspicious because he worked with security all day. He asked if I could show him my phone. I laughed. I said he wanted to search me like a bag at an airport. He said he did not want to search me, and he did not want to live in doubt. I said doubt was his problem. I said if he trusted me, he would not ask. He got quiet. I watched him swallow, like he swallowed words too. He said he did trust me before. He said he did not know what changed. I said nothing changed. I said he changed by becoming boring. I said he stopped trying. That was unfair, and I knew it, but it worked because it made him defend himself. When we got home, he did not follow me into the bedroom. He went to the kitchen and looked at the counter, where papers sat in a small stack. I saw his laptop open for a moment, showing a blank spreadsheet grid. No title, no labels. Just rows and columns like a cage being built. I went upstairs and brushed my teeth too hard. In the mirror, I practiced a face that looked hurt instead of guilty. I told myself I had to protect my image, because image was the only shield I had. In bed, I scrolled my post again and watched the likes climb. Each heart felt like a vote. I told myself the crowd agreed with me. I told myself that meant I was right. Downstairs, I heard the soft tap of a pen, like someone making a list and checking it twice. Saturday came fast, like the week had been skipped. Nate still made pancakes for Maya. He did it early, like he said. He did not ask me to help. He did not complain. He moved around the kitchen with a quiet plan, as if he had practiced without me. Maya sat at the table and watched him flip the pancakes. She asked if we could add strawberries. Nate said yes and cut them in small pieces. I walked in and acted like the normal wife. I kissed Maya's head and told her it smelled good. Nate looked at me and asked if I wanted coffee. I said yes, but I said it like a test, as if he should prove he could still be kind. He handed me a mug, then set his own mug on the other side of the counter. It was a small thing, but it felt like a line on the floor. I told myself he was trying to punish me. I ignored the fact that he still cooked and still smiled at our child. That afternoon, we had a family dinner for Gordon's birthday. Gordon was Nate's dad. He liked routine and polite talk. He never raised his voice. He treated people like they were still human, even when they disappointed him. That used to make me feel safe. Now it made me feel judged, even when he said nothing. The restaurant was one of those places with long tables and bright lights, the kind where everyone could hear everyone. Ellie and Gordon arrived first, and Daphne came in after them. Renee came with me. Renee liked to enter a room like she owned it. She wore perfume that stayed in the air after she moved. Nate walked in, holding a small gift bag and Maya's hand. Maya ran to Ellie and hugged her. Ellie hugged back and asked how school was. Maya said she had a spelling test soon. Ellie said Maya would do well. Nate pulled out a chair for Maya and then one for me. He did not look angry. That made me feel like I was failing at something. Renee sat down and asked Nate how work was. Nate said it was fine. Renee asked if he still had his little computer job. Nate said yes. I laughed too loud and said he was basically a tech babysitter. I said the city would break if he took a day off. I made it sound like a joke, but the point was clear. I wanted him smaller. Daphne looked at me and asked why I talked like that. I said I was teasing. I said families teased. Daphne said teasing was not the same as disrespect. I told her she was being dramatic. I said she always wanted to make me the villain. Dinner started with bread and small talk. People asked about Maya's school. People asked about my work. I said the dental office was chaos and I saved everyone. I said I was the only one who could handle angry patients. I liked the way heads nodded. I liked the way I sounded like a hero. Then someone asked about my marriage, like it was a normal question. Renee laughed and said marriage was work. I leaned into it. I said Nate was a good man, but too serious. I said he acted like fun was a crime. I said he asked where I went, what time I came home, who I talked to. I did not say he asked with a calm voice. I did not say he only wanted closeness. I painted him like a guard at a door. Gordon cleared his throat and said Nate had always been careful, even as a boy. Ellie said careful could also mean loyal. I smiled and said loyalty was nice, but a woman needed more than nice. I knew what I was doing. I wanted the table to look at Nate and feel sorry for me. Nate kept eating. He listened without interrupting. That made it easy for me to talk more. Silence is a blank page, and I like to write on blank pages. I told a story about the rooftop bar night, but I changed it. I said, Nate showed up and tried to pull me away. I said he made it awkward. I said he acted like I was doing something wrong, just for laughing. I did not say he waited outside and spoke politely. I left that part out because it did not help my point. Renee laughed and said, men got scared when women looked happy. One of Gordon's friends at the table chuckled. Ellie did not laugh. She looked at her plate and stayed still. Daphne stared at Nate, like she was checking if he was okay. Nate finally spoke. He asked me, calm and quiet, if I remembered what I promised him that night. I said I promised to be home after one drink. He asked if that happened. I said it basically happened. I said time was time. I said he should not count minutes like coins. He asked if I could stop talking about private things at a public table. I said I was not talking about private things. I said I was talking about reality. I said if he did not like reality, that was his problem. Maya looked up when my voice changed. She did not cry, but her shoulders lifted like she expected something loud. Nate noticed and softened his face. He asked Maya if she wanted to show Grandma her drawing from school. Maya nodded fast and pulled paper from her bag. She escaped the adult talk the way kids do, by focusing on colors. I felt a sharp sting when Nate managed the moment better than I did. I hated that I still needed him to be the worst one. Dessert came, and people clapped for Gordon. Someone suggested a toast. Renee lifted her glass first. She said families were strong when women were respected. She looked at me like I was the example. I took that opening and said I wanted to toast to freedom. I said a wife should not feel watched in her own life. A few people laughed. A few people clapped. I watched Nate's face. I wanted it to crack. I wanted anger. I wanted him to finally be the villain in front of witnesses. Instead, Nate put his napkin down neatly. He asked in the same calm voice if I could talk with him outside for 1 minute. I said no. I said he loved to do private lectures. I said he should say what he wanted in front of everyone since he loved control. He nodded once. Then he stood up and told Gordon happy birthday. He said he was sorry, but he was going to take a walk. Gordon asked if he was okay. Nate said yes, and he said it like a person reading from a simple script. He did not slam a chair. He did not shout. He just left the table. The restaurant noise kept going, but our table went quiet. Ellie followed him with her eyes. Daphne pushed her plate away and looked like she might stand up too. Renee scoffed and said he was doing it for attention. I agreed. I said he loved to act hurt, so I looked cruel. I said it was his tactic. Inside, I felt a different fear. If he was acting, he was the best actor I had ever seen. But he did not look like an actor. He looked like a man who had finished begging. Daphne went outside after a minute. She came back and said Nate was fine. She said he only wanted air. She said we should stop. I told her she was on his side because she always was. Renee said I deserved better than silent treatment. When the dinner ended, we walked to the parking lot. Nate came back before we left. He did not apologize. He did not explain. He only held Maya's hand and asked if she was ready to go home. Maya said yes. She did not look at me much. In the car, Nate drove. I watched streetlights pass like slow, blinking eyes. Nate asked me, quiet again, why I needed to humiliate him in front of his parents. I said I did not humiliate him. I said he humiliated himself by leaving. I said if he was stronger, jokes would not hurt him. He asked if I understood what Maya saw tonight. I said Maya saw adults talking. I said kids were fine. He said kids remembered tone, not words. I rolled my eyes and said he was being dramatic. At a red light, his phone made a soft beep. The screen lit for a second, and I saw a folder name before it went dark. It said, Archive A. My stomach tightened like a fist. I asked what that was. He said it was work stuff. He said it did not matter. I said it mattered if he hid things. He did not argue back. He just looked forward and waited for the light to change. When we got home, he walked Maya inside and helped her wash up. I stood in the hallway and listened. He asked Maya if she felt okay. She said she was tired. He said tomorrow would be calm. He said he would take her to the park. I wanted to step in and take control, but I did not know how. I only knew how to perform. Later, I heard a soft beep again, like a recording app starting and stopping. I told myself it was nothing. I told myself he was just being weird. But the quiet house felt different now, like something had shifted under the floor. By Monday, I started to feel something I did not want to name. It was not guilt. I told myself it was stress. I told myself Nate was making the house cold on purpose, like a punishment. He did not shout. He did not throw words at me. He simply moved around me like I was furniture. He woke up, made Maya's lunch, and left for work on time. When he came home, he helped Maya with homework, then went to the guest room with his laptop. I kept waiting for him to break. He never did. I tried to start small fights to wake him up. I asked if he was mad. He said he was tired. I asked if he even cared. He said he cared about Maya and the home being calm. I said he sounded like a robot. He said maybe calm was what we needed. I told myself calm was fake. I told myself calm was a trick. At the school pickup line, I pulled in behind his car without planning it. I saw him through his rear window, sitting straight, both hands on the wheel. Maya came out and ran to him first. She climbed into his car like it was automatic. Then she remembered me and waved with a small hand, like she was afraid of choosing wrong. I got out and walked over, smiling like I was fine. I asked Maya if she wanted to ride with me today. Maya looked at Nate first. Nate told her she could choose. He said it was okay either way. That calm choice made me feel cornered. If he told her to go with him, I could say he was keeping my child from me. If he told her to go with me, I could say he was dumping her on me. But he did neither. He just gave her a safe option. Maya said she wanted to ride with Dad because she had her spelling list in his car. I said okay too fast and acted like it did not matter. Nate nodded at me. He asked if I would be home for dinner. I said maybe. He said he would make something simple anyway. When they drove away, I sat back in my car and stared at the steering wheel. I told myself Maya was only doing what was easy. I told myself kids always picked the parent who looked calm. I told myself that did not mean I was losing. Still, my throat felt tight. At work, I told Marina that Nate was doing silent punishment and using Maya as a shield. Marina asked what I meant. I said he acted like a perfect dad, so I looked crazy. Marina laughed a little, but it sounded less sure than before. She said I should be careful with the child talk. She said people online were sensitive about kids. She said she did not want her name near a mess. That annoyed me. Marina loved drama when it was someone else's drama. When it became real, she wanted distance. Cole texted me that afternoon and asked if I missed him. I told him I was stressed at home. He said I should come out and breathe. I said I could not this week. He replied with a joke about me being on a leash. I smiled at the screen. Then I felt angry. A leash was what I accused Nate of, but Cole used the same word like it was funny. I told myself Cole was different because he made me feel chosen. I ignored the way he also made me feel small. That evening, I stopped at the supermarket. The checkout line was long. A woman behind me had a toddler who kept dropping a snack pack. I watched the toddler's dad pick it up again and again without complaining. The scene looked normal and soft, and it made me feel uneasy, like I had stepped into a life I no longer deserved. My phone buzzed, and Nate's name came up. I let it ring twice before I answered, so I would not seem eager. He asked if I was safe, and if I could grab milk. I said I was already in the store. He said thank you. He did not add anything else. No sarcasm, no guilt. That simple thank you felt like a wall, not warmth. At home, the kitchen looked clean. Too clean. Nate had already cooked pasta for Maya. They were at the table and Maya was telling him about school. Nate listened like every word mattered. Maya looked at him, not at me. I put the groceries down and said hello like an actor on stage. Maya said hi back. Nate asked if I wanted to eat. I said I was not hungry. Nate nodded once and asked if I could sign Maya's school form. I said yes, but I said it like he was ordering me around. After dinner, I tried a different tactic. I sat close to Nate on the couch, even though he had not asked. I touched his arm and told him I missed us. I told him I wanted to feel like a team again. I used words that sounded nice, because nice words were easy. He looked at me and asked what team meant now. He asked if it meant honesty. I said yes, of course. He asked if that meant I would stop hiding messages. I laughed and said he was obsessed. I said I had nothing to hide. He asked if I could show him my phone then. I pulled my hand back and said no. I said privacy mattered. I said he could not demand proof, like I was guilty. He said he was not demanding. He said he was asking for clarity. He said he did not want to argue in front of Maya, so he would keep things simple. He asked if we could agree on routines for Maya, like pickups and bedtime. He said Maya needed predictability. I said predictability was his favorite word. I said life was not a spreadsheet. He did not react to the insult. He said okay, and he wrote something down on a small notepad. Just one line. Then he tore the page off and put it in his pocket. I watched that and felt heat in my chest. I asked why he was writing notes like I was a problem case. He said he did it to remember details. He said details mattered when people got confused. I said I was not confused. He said he was glad. Later, I went upstairs, and I noticed the guest room door was closed again. I tried the handle and it opened, but the room looked arranged like a space meant for one person now. The bed was made tight. A suitcase was not there, but the closet looked emptier. Not empty, but organized. In the hallway, I heard a low hum from downstairs. It was the shredder. The sound was steady, like someone feeding it paper slowly. Then it stopped. Then it started again. The air carried a faint toner smell, like warm dust. I stood still and listened like a thief in my own home. When I went down, Nate was at the small desk by the living room. He had a plain folder on the desk with a simple label. Household. Nothing dramatic, nothing official. He closed it when he saw me, not with panic but with calm control. I asked what he was doing. He said sorting bills and school papers. He said he wanted things neat. I said he never cared about neat before. He said he cared now. I noticed his keys on the counter. There was a new key on the ring, silver and unmarked. I asked what it was for. He said it was for a storage unit. He said it was just for extra things. I said why we needed that. He said he wanted space to store seasonal items and keep the house less cluttered. I wanted to call it a lie. I wanted to scream that I knew he was planning something, but I also knew that if I screamed, I would look unstable. Nate stayed calm, and calm made me look loud. Maya came into the room rubbing her eyes. She asked if we were okay. Nate told her we were okay. He said it was late and she needed sleep. Maya looked at me like she was waiting for my answer too. I smiled and told her everything was fine. She nodded slowly, like she did not believe either of us, and went back upstairs. When Nate turned off the lights, he did not ask me to come to bed. He said goodnight in a flat, polite way and walked toward the guest room. I stood alone in the kitchen with the clean counters and the new key shining under the light. I told myself he was doing this to hurt me. I told myself he wanted me to beg. I told myself I would not. But the house felt like it was already moving without me, and I could not find where to stand. I tried to take my power back the next day by changing the picture. If Nate wanted to act calm and cold, then I would act bright and free. I told myself people respected confidence. I told myself if I looked happy, then I was happy. I started going to the gym again, right after work. I told Nate it was for health. He asked what time I would be home. I said late. He asked if Maya needed dinner before bed. I said he could handle it. He said he would. The gym lobby smelled like rubber mats and cheap fruit drinks. I signed in, and I felt like I belonged to a different life. I took a selfie in the mirror and posted a story with a short line about choosing me. I knew Nate would see it. That was part of the point. I wanted him to feel like he was losing something, so he would chase me. Cole was there that evening, which surprised me. He said his schedule changed, and he joined that gym now. He asked if it was fate. I said it was funny. He asked if things at home were still tight. I said yes. I said Nate was doing silent punishment and making me feel like a stranger in my own house. Cole told me I should not let anyone dim me. He said a woman needed excitement to stay alive. I liked hearing that, but I also felt a small warning in my stomach. Cole talked in lines that sounded good but did not mean much. Still, I held on to his words like they were proof that I was not wrong. After my workout, I sat on a bench and checked my phone. I saw a notification from a cloud app on Nate's shared tablet account, the one we both use sometimes for Maya's school stuff. It was just a small banner that said, "File uploaded successfully." No name, no detail. It made my skin prickle. When I got home, the lights were low. Maya was at the table with her homework. Nate was beside her, pointing at a page. He asked her what the word meant. She said she did not know. He asked her to try. She tried. He smiled and told her she did it. I walked in and said hello like I was the normal wife. Maya smiled but kept her eyes on the paper. Nate looked up and asked if my workout was good. I said yes. He asked if I ate. I said no. He said there was food in the fridge. He did not say it with warmth. He said it like a fact. I told myself he was doing it to hurt me. When Maya went to shower, I followed Nate into the kitchen. I asked why he was acting like we were roommates. He asked what I wanted him to do. I said I wanted him to fight for me. I did not say it like a confession. I said it like an accusation, like he was failing again. He asked what fight meant. He asked if it meant yelling. He asked if it meant begging. I said it meant caring. He said he did care, but he would not perform in front of Maya. He said he wanted peace for her. I rolled my eyes and said he was hiding behind parenting to punish me. He asked if I could stop calling every boundary a punishment. I said boundaries were just control with a nicer word. He nodded like he heard me, but he did not argue. He turned to the sink and washed a cup that was already clean. That was when I realized I could not move him with anger. So I tried sweetness. That night, I put on a soft shirt and sat on the edge of the bed, waiting. When he did not come in, I walked to the guest room door and knocked. He opened it halfway. I asked if we could talk. He said we could talk in the hallway so Maya would not hear. I said Maya was asleep. He said he still preferred the hallway. In the hallway, I told him I missed him. I told him I was stressed and confused and needed support. I told him I felt judged all the time. I said if he loved me, he would stop treating me like a suspect. He listened without interrupting, Then he asked a simple question. He asked if I had stopped messaging Cole. I felt my face tighten. I said Cole was nothing. Nate asked why I avoided answering. I said I was tired of being questioned. He said he was tired of not knowing what was real. I told him he was making a problem out of nothing. I told him if he trusted me, he would not need details. He asked if trust could survive secrets. I said yes, because marriage was about faith. He said faith was not the same as blindness. I changed tactics again. I said, maybe I did talk to Cole sometimes, but it was harmless. I said it was like chatting with a coworker. I said Nate was insecure because he did not have friends. That was mean, and I knew it, but I wanted him to feel weak. Weak people were easier to control. He did not react. He only said he would not discuss my insults. He said he would discuss practical things. He said we needed a schedule for Maya, and we needed spending to be normal and clear. He said he did not want surprises. I said he sounded like a contract. He said maybe structure was safer than chaos now. The next day, my mother called. Renee asked if Nate was still playing silent. I said yes. Renee said men did this when they wanted to scare a woman back into line. She told me to show strength. She told me not to beg. She told me if he wanted to act cold, I should act colder. That advice felt good for 5 minutes. Then I thought about Maya watching us like she was learning how love worked. The thought made me angry at Nate again, because anger was easier than fear. I called Marina and told her Nate was acting like a saint. I said he was trying to make me look crazy. Marina sounded distracted. She said she had a lot going on. She said she did not want to be tagged in anything marriage-related anymore. She said people were asking questions. I asked what people. She said just people. She said social media was messy and she did not want to be part of a breakup story. That stung. Marina helped me build the story, but she did not want to stand in it when it turned heavy. That evening, I found Nate on the porch. The sun was going down, and the street was quiet. His car was backed into the driveway, pointed toward the street, like it was ready. He was holding his phone and looking at the screen in a focused way. I saw an alarm label for a second when he turned it off. It said, paper drop. No other details. My throat went dry. I stepped outside and asked what he was doing. He said getting ready for tomorrow. I asked for what? He said life. I asked if he was planning to leave me. He said he was planning to make things stable. I said stable sounded like a threat. He said it was not a threat. He said it was a decision. I tried one last time to twist it. I told him he was destroying our family because he could not handle a little attention I got. I said he was jealous of my confidence. I said he wanted me small, so he could feel big. He looked at me for a long moment. Then he spoke slowly, like he chose each word to keep it clean. He said he would not argue about feelings anymore. He said he would do what was needed for Maya and for fairness. He said he would not do drama. I asked what that meant. He held my eyes, calm and steady, and said he would handle it properly. The next day, I followed him without admitting it. I told myself I was only going to talk. I told myself I was going to fix it before he did something stupid. I drove behind his car until he parked near an office tower with a public service desk in the lobby. Inside, everything was glass and bright light. People walked fast with folders in their hands. A security guard watched the doors. I saw Nate standing near a bench, calm, like he was early for a dentist appointment. He was not alone. A woman stood beside him. She looked about my age. She wore a simple coat and held a small paper cup. She did not cling to him. She just stood close in a quiet way. When Nate glanced at her, she smiled like she trusted him. I walked up and asked what this was. Nate asked me to lower my voice. I said I would not lower anything. I said he loved to do things in public to make me look bad. He said he chose public because it was orderly and safe. The woman stepped back one step and looked at the floor, like she did not want a scene. Nate told her it was okay. He told me she was there as support, and as a witness, because he did not want any confusion later. A staff member came out and called my full name. I froze when I heard it, loud and official. The staff member asked me to confirm my identity. I asked why. The staff member said they needed to hand me documents. I looked at Nate and asked if he was really doing this. He said yes. He said he had done things properly. He said it was not revenge, and it was not a game. He said it was structure. The staff member placed papers in my hands. I saw the words I did not want to see. A divorce filing and temporary orders. My eyes hit the lines about parenting time first. It said Maya's schedule would start immediately. It said exchanges would be clear and calm. It said neither parent could post about the child or the case online. It also listed financial limits, like a fence going up around our accounts. I told Nate he could not do that to me. He said he was not doing it to me. He said he was doing it for stability. I said he was acting like I was dangerous. He said he was acting like facts mattered more than feelings now. I tried to speak again, but my mouth went dry. Nate nodded once, thanked the staff member, and walked out with the woman beside him, while I stood there holding the papers like they were burning.